Welcome back to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We are just moments away from the kickoff between second-seeded University High out of Baton Rouge and the top seed John Curtis team out of River Ridge. It's time now for the ceremonial presentation of the game ball to both coaches, Chad Mahaffey from U High and, of course, J.T. Curtis from John Curtis Christian. And, Renee, this is a wonderful display of ceremonial sportsmanship between each game. It's a tradition. The coaches and the fans and the players all like it. And certainly this gets this game of monumental consequences underway on the right side.
A lot of solidarity, as you said, Lynn, and it's great to begin a contest with so much at stake like this.
There's Chad Mahaffey, who has been splendid in 4 years at the university school. 8-4 the first year, 12-1 the second year, 12-2, and a semifinal berth last year, and 13-0 this year. So this Cubs team has certainly improved each year under Chad Mahaffey. And, of course, J.T. Curtis many times has made the trip from that sideline to midfield to receive the ceremonial game ball.
Yes, he's used to making this trip here, and he's made 25 times with the winning walk away from there. But, he's made a few he came in the short end as well.
Well, let's check in with one of our two sideline reporters. Here is Aaron Cofield with Coach Chad Mahaffey. Aaron?
Thanks, guys. Coach, in your fourth season at U High, the team, the first time here in the Dome since 1990. Are you concerned at all about playing on such a big stage?
You know, these guys have responded well to all of our big games, so I think they'll be fine. I'm sure they're going to be excited. There's going to be some jitters to work out, but again, they've really been comfortable and relaxed all year, so hopefully that'll continue tonight.
Your offense has averaged over 45 points a game all season. What is it that they need to do well here tonight?
Just do the things that got them here. We're hopefully just execute the way we've been doing. Obviously, we got a great opponent we're facing, but we're just going to try and do the things that we've been good at, and that's it.
All right, thanks so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so I will be on the U High sideline all evening. Chad Savity will be on the John Curtis sideline. Let's go over to him. He is with Coach J.T. Curtis.
All right, John Curtis, nothing new for your team, Coach, going for a third consecutive state championship. What are some of the biggest keys? What's the biggest message you tell your team before kickoff in a game of this magnitude?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to relax. You have to be focused, you have to be relaxed, and let the game come to you rather than you trying to press it. And then again, we want to play well and not make mistakes early in the game. If you do that, you create poor field position, can cause you a problem.
Offensively, a bit of an audible. Star wideout Malachi Dupree injured the hamstring, won't be able to play. How much does that change your game plan? Who might have to step up?
Well, it really doesn't change very much. We've always rotated 3 or 4 receivers. We'll do the same thing tonight. You're always going to miss a guy the caliber of Malachi, but you know what? The definition of a team is when one guy's down, you don't notice, and hopefully that'll be the case tonight.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Good, thank you.
All right, guys, Lynn, Renee, let's go back up to you in the booth.
Renee, let's check in with our Blue Cross Blue Shield keys to the game for both University and John Curtis.
University special teams coverage. Good in the returns game. Shrink the field for the offense. Make it a short trip. Offensive execution. Also fundamental and sound defense for University. But John Curtis cannot get behind the chains. They don't have their long ball threat today. Long drives. The best defense is an offense. And control the line of scrimmage. No turnovers. Don't shrink the field for University High. They have some weapons.
We are just about set for today's opening kickoff, brought to you by J.C. Fodale Energy Services. University in the white jerseys will receive the kickoff from the Patriots in red. And here we go with the Division II LHSAA State Football Championship. This is booted to the end zone for the automatic touchback, and University will put its offense on the field for the first time at the 20-yard line. Manny Miles will be under center, a 6-foot, 180-pound junior. He's completed nearly 70% of his passes this year for more than 2,000 yards, and his touchdown to interception total is exceptional. 21 scoring tosses against only 5 thrown to the other team.
And his godfather is Cam Cameron, so you think he's got a pretty good offensive mind. He knows to make the good decisions. He's really come a long way since his opening snap in the beginning of the 2013 season.
Nick Brosette is the man to watch in the backfield. He wears number 4, 5'11", and 210 pounds. He's a junior. Miles will throw on first down, looks over the middle, and it's batted down, intended for Devontae Dodson, and broken up in the secondary. It's time for the State Farm starting lineups. Let's take a look at the offensive line for the Cubs. Garrett Brumfield at left tackle, Drew Moore, Andrew Stovall, Rule Walker, and E.J. Oglesby. In the backfield, Nick Brosette, Devontae Dotson, Jake Alexander, Chandler Johnson, and Brant Broussard are the wide receivers. Not much room for Nick Brosette. John Curtis will be keying on him all afternoon long, as teams have all season long. He still has amassed over 2,000 yards.
They got great active linebackers, do the Curtis Patriots.
Here's Sean Appanett, Isaiah Williams, and Ryan Guthrie. Along the defensive line, we'll check the other starters in a minute. Miles on third down, looking, going through the progressions, fires. He's got a receiver for a first down at the 30, and chugging out to the 35-yard line is Brant Broussard, who has just made his 34th catch of the season. Mike Corcoran is one of the linebackers. Ezekiel White is, or Hezekiah White, the other one. And then Brian Lewis, Hunter Dale, Caleb Anderson, Terrence Alexander in the backfield. First down for University, and Broussard works his way out to the 45. So a couple of completions in a row, and that one's good for 9 yards.
Brian Lewis was given a little bit of a cushion that time, and that's back-to-back catches by Brant Broussard. He's got 7 for touchdowns. He can make the big grab. He's made a couple in the last 2 series, the last 2 plays.
Broussard is a guy they like to go to along with Dotson in deep patterns, and we've got a motion penalty, I believe, on University. No, U-High takes a timeout. So the Cubs, who saw the play clock winding down and looked a little bit confused on the offense, take a timeout. 2nd and 1, forthcoming in a scoreless first quarter. We will be back in a moment. University with the ball first. 2nd down from the 45-yard line. We are scoreless. U-High and John Curtis. Second down and a yard to go. University owns the football at the 45-yard line. Manny Miles in shotgun formation from where he'll work most of the day. Hands off to Brosette, and Nick carries that 210-pound load up the middle for the first down. Running on the far hash mark, gains about 3 on the play. And let's take a look at this power runner in progress.
Well, they had 3 wide receivers left, so he breaks this initial surge here, and he's gone. They got a single safety, but good play by the offensive line coming off the ball and giving him ample room to run.
Miles is rolling left on 1st and 10. Pumps, and now he'll keep it. He's got 5 or 6, takes on a tackler inside John Curtis territory at about the 44. That stop was made by Hezekiah White, the inside linebacker, who is the 2nd leading tackler for John Curtis.
He had 94 tackles. Goes to show what kind of wheels Manny Miles has, going back to his former wide receiver days, and he can turn the corner. Made a nice pickup, 2nd and short.
Miles with a gain of 8. And here is Brosette again, trying to get yardage on the right side, but it looks as though he stopped slightly short of first down territory. They'll mark this one at about the 42. And this may be close enough for a measurement.
Good look right there. Matrell McGraw, strong safety for John Curtis. Nicholas Brosette, boy, he's a load. He's 210, got good wheels, Lynn, and he's got a little wiggle. He runs like a small back.
And we'll have our first measurement of the afternoon. Renee, this University team, so powerful during the regular season. 33 points was the fewest number of points it scored during the regular season. A low of 33 and a high of 56 in dispatching Turlings Catholic, Glen Oaks, Parkview Baptist, Port Allen, Denham Springs, West Feliciana to the offensive juggernaut U High during the regular season.
University averages it makes it tough because defensive backs are spread out with the wide receivers.
High snap, he's hit, tries to bounce free, sheds one tackler, breaks the secondary as he turns nothing into something. It looked as though he were going to be stuffed behind the line of scrimmage and then shed tacklers en route to a big game.
He makes contact right here, as you can see, in the backfield. That's Isaiah Williams, and he outruns Mike Corcoran. He flashes some speed with that 4.45 speed and gets to the second level. First down at the 25-yard line. Nice run.
So Brosette avoids being caught in the backfield. Miles Fed, it's caught for a short pickup by Brant Broussard. Been on the receiving end of 3 passes. Long forthcoming.
Jeremy Hill planning on going, but
John Kurtz with Montero. Washington keeps it. He's got a first down as he's streak line in front of the University bench before he's run out of bounds. Linebacker Dylan Moses and Trey Jackson. Second down and 9. Abby Toussaint will alter.
On the defense. First
round with 12-pound inside linebacker, and they put the lockdown on the ball carrier. Second down and about 8. We are scoreless. Washington back in at quarterback. Fakes, lobs to the corner, tipped away, and it's incomplete. That one's slightly underthrown. Man in the backfield or in the secondary behind the Trey Jackson was able to save the touchdown as he tips this one away.
And you can see Trey Jackson right there. What great vertical he got. He's only a sophomore, Lynn, but he's committed to Florida. Number 25, Trey Jackson, 5'9.5", 170. Great explosion, great speed, and great vertical. Saved 6 points.
Trey Jackson has 4 interceptions this season. John Curtis is 2 for 2 on third down conversions in this drive. It needs 8 to keep this one alive. Washington retreats, tries to set up the screen, it's tipped, it's intercepted. That is picked off on the deflection. Bennett Lowry, a 6'1", 215-pound senior, has something to talk about for a long time.
And they had pressure coming from Dylan Moses, and John Guidry once again tapping the ball, making it an easy catch for an interception. And University forced that drive. You can see Dylan Moses got great penetration and batted the ball into his teammates' hands. Great penetration, good play. University stops that drive, gets the ball back at their own 41-yard line.
It's only the third interception suffered by Miles Washington this year. Both teams with effective drives until they got near the red zone. The turnover gives University the ball, and earlier U-High ran out of downs. A loss there, 2nd and 11.
It's going to be a challenge on both offensive lines to give their running backs some creases to run through, because very active defenses both run real well.
Miles looks to the right side, throws it out to Brant Broussard. He makes one-man miss, and then he is whacked off his feet at the 44-yard line. Brant Broussard already has 4 catches in this game. There is a penalty marker down. Let's check the marker, which was thrown at the 45. That was the point of the tackle, essentially.
Got a personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
This is a 15-yard walk-off against John Curtis with the face mask penalty.
And we're going to see right here if we can get a face mask. Looks like Kenny Young may have come back and grabbed right there. Great camera work as Kenny Young trying to make the assist. Grabbed his face mask, and that'll be 15 yards assist against the Patriots.
So U-High has a first down after the short pickup and the 15-yard penalty at the 40-yard line. Miles throwing to the right side. And this one's incomplete. Again, he intended the pass to Brant Broussard. Broussard came into the game with 33 catches, 7 touchdown receptions. He's not a big target, only 5'7" and 140 pounds, but he knows how to run routes.
Lynn, he's also got over 20 yards per catch, so he's a dangerous threat. The way at this route, he's going to have 33 catches in this game. They keep working number 4, Brian Lewis.
4 catches for 33 yards for Brant Broussard. They have not thrown to him deep yet, and Nick Brossette is drawing a crowd behind the line of scrimmage as he's taken down for a rare loss.
Curtis reacts to the ball very, very quickly. Their defensive backs, Terrence Alexander, McGraw, Hunter Dale is just a junior, but he'll be a great one next year. Got a lot of offers, and Brian Lewis, they react to the ball very quickly.
3rd and 11. Miles looking, flushed out of the pocket. Now he will run. He's got 5. He makes a man miss, and he moves forward for a first down. It looked as though a John Curtis defender had him in his sights at about the 35-yard line, but Miles made a nifty move to pick up the additional yardage.
I don't know how fast he is, but he's football fast. You see, he just keeps his eyes downfield, knows when to tuck it and what decision to go. Hezekiah White right there has a chance number 58. Mike Corcoran racing downfield, makes the tackle, but good move right there, linebacker Hezekiah White for a nice pickup, and they're pounding on the door, University.
We are scoreless with 3:22 remaining in the first quarter. Miles fakes to Brossette, rolls left, and takes a big hit as he's sacked back at the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. Kenny Young was a heat-seeking missile to the quarterback.
Kenny Young with his 4th sack. He's got a host of schools looking at him, and this is why he's one of the best linebackers in the country. Great reaction to the ball, closing speed, and just finishes that tackle with a teammate in close pursuit with him. But that was a great stop by Kenny Young.
That is his 4th sack of the season. Miles looking, under pressure again. He'll keep it. Bounces off a tackle at the 25. There is a penalty marker down as Miles is taken down near the 23-yard line. Let's check the flag, however.
Face mask again, Lynn.
There's no foul on the play.
Well, the officials conferred about it and decided there was no penalty.
You see right here, it looked very close to a face mask, and they talked about it, but picked it up. Manny Miles right now is making very good decisions, waiting to the very last instant. And the good thing is, when his receivers are in routes, Lynn, they got all their wide defensive backs deep, so he's got a lot of running room, a lot of territory once he breaks contain.
3 wide receivers at the top of the formation. Miles throws to the left side for the first time, and that one is broken up. Intended for Trey Jackson and defended very nicely by Terrence Alexander.
Terrence Alexander, great 4.45 speed. He's got Ohio State, Stanford, Ole Miss, Northwestern, Arizona State, and Arkansas. Looking at him, he is one of the best, 4.45 speed, a great cornerback, a senior. He'll be playing on Saturdays.
And a couple of interceptions to his credit this year. 4th down and University will try to pick up 7 to keep this drive alive. Miles looking, pumps, under pressure. He's grabbed and down he goes. No place to throw the football. A loss of 8. Miles sacked a couple of times in that series. James Hagan was the first to get to the quarterback. John Curtis takes over on downs. We are still scoreless in the first period. Let me see your program. Welcome back, everyone. We are inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Both offenses of John Curtis and University High have been able to work the football effectively between the 20-yard lines, essentially. But, Renee, each time the other team starts to close in on the front porch, either a turnover or a defensive stop takes care of business.
That was a great defensive stop by John Curtis that last series.
Miles Washington hands it off on the veer. And not a whole lot working there for George Marrera. Marrera has crossed 1,000 yards in this game. He came in with 999 yards, averaging a whopping 9.2 yards a carry. He has scored 11 touchdowns, and the longest run he's had is 78 yards. But so far, both Marrera and the big offensive ball carrier Nick Brosette for U High have been pretty well contained in the first quarter. Miles lobs it downfield, and a leaping catch is made by the tight end, Hunter Thibodeau. A 6 foot, 220-pound junior. That's only his third catch of the season. It's a big one.
It is a big one. He's a big target, and Miles Washington gets a couple of linebackers in his face, and he finds room, throws it right between the safeties. A nice throw by Miles Washington, who made himself a quarterback since the fourth game of the season.
That's a 26-yard advance, the longest reception of the season for the tight end, Hunter Thibodeau. First down near the 40. The ball loose in the backfield for a moment. James comes up with it, and a flag is thrown. And now another one comes sailing in as James is tackled at the line of scrimmage.
That was a dangerous decision by Miles Washington. He threw it kind of up in the air, and Raekwon James had to come back and get it. Had he not come back, that was a fumble, and University was right near the ball.
The holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
A major penalty moves the football back into John Curtis territory, short of the 50.
See right here, number 77, Willie Allen. 6'6", 285. Justice Southmore is going to be a good one, but he got a hold of a white jersey. We'll let it go, holding against the Patriots.
First and 20 for John Curtis from near midfield. James running to the short side of the field, draws a crowd, and maybe gets a yard out of it. That charge led by Matthew Berg, who has 9.5 sacks to lead University. That is the 5th leading tackler overall.
He's got 62 tackles overall. He gets great penetration. His 15th tackle in the backfield. So Matthew Berg moves very, very well. 6'4", 205-pounder. Good defensive end.
Second and 19 for John Curtis. 2 wide receivers at the bottom of the formation. Nowhere to go for James. And both defensive lines, after being pushed around a little bit in the first couple of series, have started to rise to the challenge.
And that was a good play by number 22 outside linebacker Bo Bankston, and inside linebacker number 20 Larion James for University. Did not give him any lanes to run in and kind of kept him bottled up until the cavalry arrived and made the stop. You look at Larion James right there, just a sophomore, 5'9", 180-pound inside linebacker. He's got to be some tough guy.
Only seconds remain in the first quarter, and the clock reaches 0, and we will move to the second period. So we are scoreless after the first 12 minutes. University High and John Curtis, seeds 2 and 1, are scoreless as we move to the second period in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The LHSAA State Farm Prep Classic, presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, is brought to you by State Farm, title sponsor of the 2013 Prep Classic. By Cajun Industries, sponsor of the Prep Classic poster contest. By Baden, the Baden QB1, the official football of the LHSAA. By North Oaks Orthopedic Specialty Center, a regional healthcare partner of the LHSAA. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, the card accepted by more top doctors. Welcome back to the Superdome, everyone. Chad Sabity and Aaron Cofield are patrolling the sidelines. With analyst Renee Nadeau, I'm Lynn Rollins. We are scoreless, and the first play of the second quarter is an incomplete pass. Miles Washington rolling left, trying to work it down to the left side for the wide receiver Jacob Bordelon. And there is a penalty marker on the field at about the 43. An illegal man downfield for John Curtis.
And that's the kind of things that will hurt you, as JT, good looking at him right there. Not a happy camper right now, because it's the small things that will kill drives and push you back and make you work harder.
An eligible downfield on the offense. Penalty decline, 4th down.
You know, Lynn, we talked earlier about Malachi Dupree being out of the game today, and we'll never know how much impact he would have had, but certainly he would have attracted a lot more attention from the DBs of University, which would have opened up other options.
Here's the first punt of the game. And this one is booted by Bryce Estes, who's averaging 35.5 yards per kick. A fair catch made at the 11-yard line. That fair catch handled by Devontae Dodson. Let's look at some first quarter numbers. We are scoreless after the first 12 minutes. These numbers pretty reflective of the way it's gone in the first quarter.
Wow. Can't get much closer than that. John Curtis with a three-yard advantage overall. Total yards, rushing yards. Curtis with 10 yards, and passing yards goes to University 33-25. Time of possession, just a slight advantage to the Patriots, but 0-0. No one has an advantage there yet, and it's been a good game.
After a 36-yard punt with no return, U-High puts its offense back on the field. This is the worst field position for either team in the first half. Miles takes the direct snap, looks, throws it deep. He's got Broussard out in front, and they cannot connect. Broussard, who had been running a lot of short routes, that time turned upfield and was behind the secondary, but the pass was a little bit off the mark.
And Broussard ran a stop and go, and the quarterback kind of bit on it a little bit, gave him a little cushion, a little separation. You see a little pump and go, and Broussard just couldn't catch up with the pass as Prine Lewis kind of bit on that stop. But nice layout by Miles, just a little too long, but nice pattern, incomplete.
2nd and 10 for U-High from the 12-yard line. We are scoreless very early in the second quarter. Here is Brosette, and he has not been able to get going. Nick Brosette, who is truly one of the best running backs in the state as a junior, coming in with 2,068 rushing yards, has found the path very bumpy against this John Curtis defense.
He makes something out of nothing, and he's had a lot of contact as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, somewhat in the backfield as well, but he's great yards after contact, and as you said, averaging over 8 yards per carry, Lynn.
8 carries, only 25 yards for Brosette in the first half. The slant pass is caught by Devontae Dodson. Dodson, who has 17 touchdown receptions, has just made his catch.
This was a very tough throw. Look, he throws on a rope, and Devontae Dawson, he had to throw on the inside because the safety was right over the top right here. You had to see Hezekiah White, the linebacker, so that was a very difficult throw right in front of Terrence Alexander, the cornerback. Nice pitch and catch by University.
Alexander in good defensive position, but Dodson nonetheless with his 33rd reception. And here is Brosette working his way into the secondary for the first time. The big fellow lumbers across midfield and is pushed out of bounds near the 44-yard line.
We've been talking about how he's been breaking tackles, and he gets a lot of green area to run. He gets past the first area, first line of scrimmage. He gets into the second level. Just a quick handoff on a draw, and he just breaks 2 tackles right there. Has some pretty good wheels for a 215-pounder. Stiff arm at the end, but nice gain by Brosette.
That was a 30-yard advance. Then Miles throws to his right and misses the target, Mark Gravois, a 5'10", 161-pound junior. Manny Miles has completed 5 of 10 passes for 44 yards. 4 of those receptions have gone to Brant Broussard and the other one to Devontae Dotson.
I like the way Manny Miles keeps these plays alive. Very, very calm demeanor.
Malik Antoine in motion to the left side. Brosette looking for yardage. Tries to find a hole, but his patience is not rewarded because all running lanes were plugged up by John Curtis.
And you know, John Curtis runs those lanes pretty well. Good look at Hezekiah White, inside linebacker, along with Kenny Young. And Hezekiah White, 94 tackles. He's being looked at by Louisiana College and Millsaps. 6 foot, 210 pounds, runs very, very well, senior.
White is the second leading tackler for John Curtis. And there is a penalty marker down. Usually, this will be illegal procedure, and it is.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So both teams, who are known for their fundamental soundness, have had some untimely penalties in the first half.
Yeah, this is the kind of game sometimes you have to kind of hold your snap count a little bit, and just the things that you've worked on all year sometimes, there's some breakdowns. John Curtis with an outstanding defensive backfield, and you got 4 guys back there that will be playing in college. Great defensive players.
Miles retreats, looks, he's hit as he throws. He angles this one to the right side, and that ball came spiraling out of his hands and was wide right as Miles took a lick as he delivered the pass.
That time, one-on-one coverage as he took a hit that time in the backfield. Didn't get a number, but that was Brian Lewis again in one-on-one coverage with Brant Broussard.
Kamani Keith was the defender applying the pressure to the quarterback. And now Manny Miles will retreat to punt. He'll kick it to a couple of Patriots who are standing at the 10-yard line. Miles tries to angle this one to the right side, and it goes out of bounds near the 32 or 33-yard line. So John Curtis will take the ball again with 9:35 remaining in the first half. We are scoreless, U High and the Patriots. Welcome back to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We are scoreless. Let's check in with Chad Sabity, who's patrolling the John Curtis sideline. Chad?
Thanks, Lynn. The John Curtis Patriots have been moving the ball pretty well, but unable to cash in so far. You've noticed the rotation of quarterbacks. Miles Washington, the converted running back, running this offense pretty well, except for that rare interception. J.T. Curtis on the sideline after that told him just to calm down. The play was open to make good decisions. Do not turn the ball over because that will kill this team. But Abby Tuzet can be a key to this game. Miles Washington is back in there, but Tuzet can be a difference maker as well. Lynn, back to you.
Chad, thank you very much. And that interception was actually on a screen play. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage and then picked off on a play that appeared to be open. Neither team, Renee, has been able to consistently establish its running game, and that's what these teams certainly live on primarily.
And the thing is, Curtis's offensive front is very inexperienced across the front. A lot of young guys, even those seniors, guys who didn't get to see the field until this year.
There is a flag at the line of scrimmage as Morera is out in front of everybody, streaking down the sideline. He is in the end zone, but there is a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage, and it came very early in the play.
Might be a hold.
That's exactly what it is. So a 66-yard scamper to the end zone by George Morera is wiped out by a holding penalty.
What to show what kind of lethal skills Morero has. We talked about being a track hurdler. Well, he's got some afterburners in a second gear.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
There was a lot of guys in the scrum there, so we're not really sure if we can see who grabbed. May have held that time, but there was a lot of humanity in the middle of that pileup.
It looked as though Willie Allen, the 6'6", 285-pound sophomore tackle, may have been involved in the holding penalty. And it wipes out a long dash to the end zone. Second down and 14 for John Curtis. Jacob Bordelon in motion to the near side. The handoff goes the other way. James has a blocker in front. Tries to turn the corner and is bulldogged down after 3 or 4, maybe 5 yards.
It's Larion James, number 20 again, the inside linebacker, comes all the way from the inside. And, you know, he's a first-year starter, no false steps, good nose for the ball, has 101 tackles coming into this game, and he runs sideline to the sideline, evidenced by that tackle.
He's only a sophomore, and he is the second leading tackler for U-High. They've got a couple of tackling machines in Moses and James, who play next to each other as inside linebackers.
They're going to be here for the next 2 or 3 years, so wow.
John Curtis now faces fourth down at a punting situation.
John Curtis finds himself in a situation. They've played some really serious teams this year, but you don't see him with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, 0-0. So University has really brought a lot to the table here and given them all they can handle.
Austin Linden is going to punt the football. He's averaging about 30.5 yards a kick. This one lands on its tail, backs up a little bit, and now takes virtually a neutral roll. It'll be a first down for University at its own 32-yard line. The sports and highlights show you've been waiting for is here. Fox Sports Live, as Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole are joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson to bring you everything you need and want to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1.
University's been threatening every drive thus far, Lynn, and Manny Miles has done a good job running that offense, and with Brissett, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Dylan Moses get some reps in the backfield as well.
First and 10 for University at its own 32-yard line. Brissett makes a man miss, gets into the secondary, and takes on a tackler and wins the battle. He's got a first down at the 47-yard line.
And that time, the defense kind of overran the play, and Brissett, with good vision, saw a crease on the backside and ran, followed his eyes a little bit. Good run. You got to have good vision to find where the crack is, where the hole is. It's not always where it's designed to be.
It took the free safety Hunter Dale to make the stop after a long gain. Brissett will try it again, and this time he draws a lot of traffic, led by that inside linebacker, Hezekiah White.
Ryan Guthrie also from his nose tackle position, 5'11", 270, number 55, did a good job stuffing that play, and along with Hezekiah White. And good look right there at Ryan Guthrie. Just a good, solid football player, very physical.
We slip under the 7-minute mark in the second quarter. We are still scoreless. Miles throws quickly. He's got Broussard for the 5th time. The reception made near the 46-yard line. That will be about 3 yards short of a first down. And the free safety, Hunter Dale, again was involved in the play.
They went to a cover 4 with the safety over the top, and Manny Miles just found the opening and hit his receiver short of a first down, but it's manageable, 3rd and 3. And you have to just kind of take what the defense gives you, and that was a good decision.
Broussard has averaged 8 yards on 5 receptions. U-High looks over to the sideline and perhaps changes the play on 3rd and 3. Brissett trying to find a running lane. He does not get enough to the 44, but that will be a yard short of a first down.
One guy in a stop there, number 20, Mike Corcoran, whose dad played in this game a few years ago in 1990, had 4 touchdowns. Mike Corcoran's dad, I'm sure he's watching and very proud of his son, number 20, Mike Corcoran, for the Curtis Patriots.
Brissett with 74 yards rushing on 13 carries. Most of that came on 2 totes in the first half. Miles will punt it and now moves up into short formation. He rolls right, throws back over the middle, incomplete. That one coming up just a little bit short to Jake Alexander. I beg your pardon, that's Chandler Johnson who attempts his first pass. Jake Alexander had it in his hands and could not reel it in. We are scoreless with 5:46 remaining in the second quarter. These two Division II heavyweights have slugged it out between the 20-yard lines. John Curtis has favorable field position with the first down at its own 44. But once again, University High plugs the line of scrimmage as Gregory Bowser made the stop on George Morera. Bowser, a 5'8", 239-pound senior who has really come into his own defensively in his senior campaign.
He uses good leverage, understands everything. Good pursuit. He's gotten a lot stronger and got 48.5 tackles thus far and a sack and a half. Good looking at him right there.
John Curtis lines up in that split backfield. Fake to the back on the right side. The handoff to Morera, running on a little bit of a delay straight ahead on the near side hash mark. Crosses into University territory at the 49 before John Guidry got in his way.
Sean Barrett from his left tackle position. Nice hole before Guidry put the stops on him. But third and manageable, 3rd and 3 right now for the Patriots.
John Guidry leaves the game. 3rd and 3. One receiver at the top of the formation, that's Bordelon. Quarterback sneak. And plenty of lanyap on the 3rd and 3. Abby Toussaint, the bigger of the two quarterbacks, going straight ahead.
And he's a big body, 6'2", 225. Of course, he had his collarbone surgery early this year. And in the summer, he had a sports hernia surgery, so he's seen a doctor. He's made quite a few doctor visits this year.
That's not a good thing when you're a football player. 1st and 10 for John Curtis at the 44 in University territory. 4:25 remains in the opening period. The counter handoff is effective as running for good yardage. George Morera crosses the 40, gets to the 37-yard line.
Morera runs behind those pads. Look at the way that they come off the ball. Good blocking by the offensive line of John Curtis. Good kick-out block there by the tight end that time, giving Morero ample room to run through.
Bo Bankston, an outside linebacker who carries 185 pounds on a 5'10 frame, made the stop. 2nd down and short. Here is James. He reverses field in the secondary. Makes another man miss. Slips inside the 10. Stays on his feet and stumbles into the end zone. Raekwon James with a scintillating run.
Wow. Little Barry Sanders-ish, if you will. He went from one sideline to the other. Raekwon James with his with another touchdown, his 5th of the season, a 37-yard scamper, a thing of beauty, Lynn. And watch, he looks like a ping pong ball in the bathtub. Look, he's going this way, he's going to cut it back this way, and before you look, puts a little fake there, and then a little shivvy on the last defensive back into the end zone. What a great move, artistic, if you will.
He made Bankston miss, he made Antoine miss, and wiggled his way into the end zone for a 6-0 lead, the first touchdown of the game. Austin Linden, who's 24 out of 28 in extra points, will attempt the kick, and it is deflected, no good. Linden's kick is rejected, as you see Raekwon James accepting the congratulations of his teammates. Let's look at this run one more time.
He's just running and making these cuts at full speed. Look, he faked Antoine right out of his boots, Lynn, and that is just a great run. He's making cuts at full speed, and the extra point didn't have a chance. Great penetration, a little low, but it looked like couldn't get a number on that one. Might have been Bennett Lowry may have got his big paw up to block it away.
There was pressure from the right side defensively, but the Baden scoring drive covers 5 plays, 56 yards. As John Curtis gets to the scoreboard first, it covered 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And the curlicue run by Raekwon James results in the touchdown. U-High has a couple of championships in its football history. John Curtis with 25 at 21 of them in this building.
Good look at Chad Mahaffey right there. You know his grandfather, Racer Holstead, coached at Tallulah and Tallulah Academy with 301 wins, 155 defeats and 8 losses, 64%. So he comes from pretty good lineage.
300 wins is an astronomical total. Austin Linden strikes the football and hits it deep, and this sails into the end zone for the automatic touchback. Renee, I've talked about this for years, and of course it's not singular to the football played in Louisiana, but there is a nationwide rule that kicks that make the end zone automatically are touchbacks. I have for years thought that rule needs to be changed to let these high school players run the ball out of the end zone.
Well, you know, and there's a safety factor involved in everything, and you know, I guess even in the NFL, then they're changing things to almost eliminate the kickoff, and so I guess this, you know, there's a lot of thought given into that. I don't know if they'll ever go back and allow them to run a kick out of the end zone.
Let's see if U-High can sustain a drive. It has marched the football effectively with a couple of first downs, maybe 3 in each drive, and then something has gone wrong. Here's a long pass downfield that is intercepted by Hunter Dale. Hunter Dale slips one tackle, stays on his feet, works his way out of another one. Coming to the left side looking for blocking, sheds another tackler, makes another man miss, and finally goes down at the 46. It was Manny Miles, the quarterback, who finally finished him off, but Hunter Dale makes the interception, and then another dazzling return.
His 8th this season, and what a thing of beauty. The junior safety, who everybody in the country wants, he just plays center field for this ball and just steps in front of the receiver and steals away at the very last instant. And 6'5", 10, 185. Look at this, great skyward, comes up with a Hunter Dale.
And here comes the 18-yard return, which probably covered close to 50.
He's running from sideline to sideline, and Manny Miles even got into this, makes the tackle, kind of a little angry there, but Hunter Dale, great field position for the Patriots.
So John Curtis, after the interception, has a first down at the 46-yard line, and Abby Toussaint pushes his way for yardage across the 40 down to about the 38. That's going to be very close to a first down, and check it, that's Miles Washington, who carries 205 pounds on a 5'10 frame. Miles Washington plowing straight ahead.
And he's running right behind the center, Tim Liu, number 67, who's the third brother at Curtis playing, and 5'9", 220-pound senior, very, very proud family tradition as a center for the John Curtis Patriots.
Raekwon James made a curlicue run to the end zone the last time John Curtis owned the football. And he's got it now. This time he's bottled up. Needing 3, got about 2. It's going to be 3rd and very short. Matthew Berg, from his defensive end position, made the stop. Berg carries 205 pounds on a 6'4" frame. He's a rangy, very active defensive player.
Yeah, he moves pretty well, and you know he's got a lot of tackles. He's got 9.5 sacks coming into this game, as you said, Lynn, and he moves very, very well.
3rd and quite short. This is 4-down territory for John Curtis. 3rd and a yard. James slips through a tiny crack and then finds a little bit of running room beyond the line of scrimmage. He winds up with 5 before John Guidry, the other defensive end, made the stop.
And that time, University played a 5-man front. It's mano a mano, just trying to see who's going to win this competition. And that time, John Curtis came off the ball very well and gave their running back enough for the first down.
Tim Liu leads his team to the line of scrimmage. He'll snap it. Abby Toussaint back in at quarterback right now. And the handoff to the right side of a basic veer play. That one stuffed for a 1-yard gain.
Making that stop that time was Dylan Moses, Lynn. And you know, we've talked about how good he is in Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Florida State, Texas, Georgia, UCLA. So far, he's committed to LSU, just a freshman. Wow, how good can he be, just a freshman and leading tackle on his university team.
Miles Washington returns to the game at quarterback. 2nd and 9. 2 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Bordelon in motion. And there is a penalty marker down. And this probably will be against the offensive team.
Red ball, offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Ooh, he's not a happy camper. Coach J.T. Curtis looked 4
Second
penalties
down.
for 40 yards, Lynn, and that's got to be eating him up right now.
The referee inadvertently said 3rd down, but it's 2nd down and 14 coming. 75 seconds and counting remain in the 2nd quarter. John Curtis stays on the ground and manages to get about 5 or 6 out of it. Abby Toussaint tackled by Dylan Moses again.
Timeout. John Curtis.
John Curtis has taken a timeout and has 2 remaining now. So with 57 seconds left, John Curtis is at the 29-yard line in the closing seconds of the first half, leading 6-0.
Look at a wide receiver right here, just a little tie up between a DB and a wide receiver. Little chicken fighting there with little hands. No harm, no foul. You know, Abby Toussaint, though, you think of him as a passing quarterback. He's really not. He's averaging just under 5 yards per carry. And as I said earlier, 6'2", 225 pounds. So he's a big, physical, strong runner. And he does have the arm. When he comes in, he is a weapon to throw the ball.
He's 28 for 57 this year. Washington is 32 for 65, so they've thrown about the same number of passes, and both of them are completing just a little less than 50%.
You know, a couple years ago as a freshman, he threw a 34-yard touchdown pass in 2011 to Malachi Dupree to win the state championship, so he's seen it all.
And if you've just joined us, Dupree unavailable for the championship game due to a hamstring pull earlier in the week. Larion James is there to make the hit on George Morera.
It's good looking right there. He is one of the best in the country, and everybody wants him. 6'8" high jump. He was a state MVP in track. 44 long triple jump, I should say. 23 over 23 feet long jump. He's quite an athlete, man.
It's 4th down and a long 2. Quarterback keeps and is turned over, but he's got a first down as he is taken down inside the 20-yard line. And Miles Washington quickly advanced the football when he saw a little bit of a schism. It took the cornerback, Trey Jackson, to overturn him.
And Devontae Dotson also came in with a little assist Now with 24 ticks to go, they don't want to use their kicker if they don't have to.
Second choice timeout.
John Curtis has entered the Coke Zero red zone. 24 seconds are left in the second quarter. The sports show you've been waiting for is here. Introducing Crowd Goes Wild with Regis Philbin and a cast of former athletes and journalists that will talk about things you will not hear on other shows. Sports talk just got a little more colorful. Crowd Goes Wild. Weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1.
You know, for those who think Miles Washington is nothing but a foot soldier, Lenny, he threw a 72-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Dupree against St. Charles in the playoffs. He also had a 65-yard scamper in the semifinals against Evangel, so he can do it with his arm or his feet. Good look at Malachi Dupree. He'll be playing on Saturday somewhere.
That touchdown pass about which you just spoke by Toussaint is his only one of the year.
You know, Malachi is also an outstanding track guy, as we said, but he loves basketball and loves the hardwood, so he might be a three-sport guy. You don't know, Lynn.
1st and 10 for the Patriots. Washington looking, tipped away, incomplete, a diving defensive play by Devontae Johnson, and he saved a touchdown.
Wow, he had one interception, almost had two, and he just read the quarterback's eyes and stepped right in front of the ball, and Curtis is lucky they lived to fight another day. That ball intended for Ja'Cory Fullilove. Incomplete, 20 seconds to go for the Patriots at the 18-yard line, hoping to come away with points.
Devontae
Wow.
Johnson is not a big guy, 5'9", 160 pounds, and he came sailing in to tip it away.
Well, he's got 4.35 speed, Lynn. Great break on the ball.
2nd and 10. Washington backpedals, looks, now is flush to his left. Looking for a block, gets a big one at the 20-yard line, and Washington goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 12 seconds remaining.
You got to watch those crackback blocks. Watch, right on the edge, Ja'Cory Fullilove. Well, you didn't get a chance to see him right there as he unloaded on an unsuspecting Larion James and gave, wow, that was a crackback block there, a legal block above the shoulder pads, above the waist, and that was just a nice block. 13-yard line, the Patriots with 12 ticks to go.
This is the 10th play of the drive. Only a dozen seconds remain. 3rd down for the Patriots. A wide receiver left, a wide receiver right. Toussaint back, sets up the screen. It's bobbled and then caught. To the 10, to the 5, hurtling to the stripe. Touchdown, Raekwon James. From 13 yards away, and both of his scores have been spectacular.
Abby Toussaint just threw a little screen, and yes, he did a lot of this on his own. Wow, what a great play. It looked like they were going to blow it up in the backfield. Great penetration by University High. Of course, it was a screen pass set up anyway, but great individual effort, and Abby Toussaint getting pressure, setting it up beautifully, and throwing to Raekwon James, and he does the rest on his own. Almost dropped it. Good broken field running right here and gets near the end zone. A nose for the end zone. Wow, that's close, man. That is close.
Raekwon James is awarded the touchdown, his second of the day, and Austin Linden will attempt the extra point. This one is up and cleanly through. 13-0. The Patriots have a halftime lead as we look at the scoring drive brought to you by Bodden. 10 plays, 46 yards over the final 3:22 remaining in the half. Raekwon James with the 13-yard touchdown catch, the second touchdown pass thrown by Abby Toussaint this season.
And that was the first touchdown catch by Raekwon James in 2013.
Let's go down to Chad Sabity. Chad?
All right, guys, with Coach J.T. Curtis, a defensive battle early. Your team picked things up in the second half. How crucial was that score just now?
Well, anytime you can score right before the half, it's big, but it's just exactly what I thought it'd be, a war between both lines of scrimmage, and it'll continue that way in the second half.
What's the biggest message you tell your team? Is it about clean and efficient football?
Well,
no penalties?
Yeah, no question. We've hurt ourselves a little bit with penalties. Obviously, had one call back. We have to maintain our poise and just keep playing hard for the 24 minutes.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. All right, Lynn, JT Curtis and the Patriots with a 13-0 lead. Let's go back up to you in the booth.
Chad, thank you very much. That man and his team seeking a 26th state championship, and the 22 of those would have come in the Superdome. But there are 24 minutes remaining, and University High will have something to say about the outcome in the second half. At the break, 13-0. John Curtis leads the University High School Cubs. 2 touchdowns by Raekwon James. The University High School Band is performing at halftime. John Curtis leads 13-0 at the break in the Division II LHSAA championship game. There was no scoring in the first quarter. John Curtis finding the end zone twice in the second period, with Raekwon James taking in 1 by run, 1 by pass. Let's check in with Aaron Cofield on the floor of the Superdome. Aaron?
Thanks, Lynn. I'm with Jimmy Smith, who's a recruiting analyst for NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Jimmy, a lot of great players playing in this game today. Just your thoughts when you look at the field. Who are some of the guys you're keeping an eye on?
There's really some top prospects, and it's not just from the seniors, you know, from freshman Dylan Moses, sophomores Malik Antoine and Trey Jackson on U-High, and, you know, John Curtis with Malachi Dupree, who's not playing tonight. That was kind of painful to see him not playing in a state championship game, and Kenny Young, just a plethora of talent on the field on both sides.
And a lot of talent, and it's a lot of SEC talent. It's not just a state school situation. Just who are some of the guys that maybe some of the schools are going to, and does that surprise you, or what do they bring to the table? You
know, John Curtis' defense is really loaded. 2015 safety Hunter Dale made a big interception right before the half. He's got offers from Florida, Arizona State, Miami. A lot of big schools looking at him. Terrence Alexander, cornerbacks, got offers from Ole Miss, Stanford. Latrell McGraw, the other cornerbacks. I mean, that whole secondary on John Curtis is really loaded. And Kenny Young, LSU's back in the picture now, so it looks like LSU's going to be recruiting him heavily down the stretch here. So, and that's just on John Curtis. And Garrett Brumfield committed to LSU. Nicholas Brissett, Dylan Moses committed to LSU from U-High. And I mean, they've got a good 8 or 10 guys that are probably going to sign Division I football over the next 2 years. So a lot of D1 talent, as you said, a lot of top-level D1 SEC-type talent on the field today. Well, and it's an interesting story with Dylan Moses, right? He was very young in 8th grade when his first offers came. Does it surprise you that coaches are really getting after these players so soon? Not really. I mean, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world in recruiting, and whoever's on these kids first usually has an advantage towards the end here. And as kids are developing earlier and earlier now and training and getting their bodies right, you see 13 and 14-year-olds that almost look like grown men like Dylan. So it didn't really surprise me, and I tell you, now that I've been able to see him on the field this year during his freshman season, he's definitely living up to the hype. A heck of a football player. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Lynn?
Aaron, thank you very much. U-High this season has scored 445 points in the first half. It has none today against John Curtis. Let's enjoy the Cubs marching band when we return we will have highlights and some numbers for you. 13-0 John Curtis over University Lab at halftime in the Division II state championship game.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the Colonial Regiment of John Curtis Christian School. Under the direction of Thomas B, cheerleader sponsor and dance line, Debbie Bricknap, Shelley Cortez, flag team sponsor, pep squad sponsors, Randy Woodrow and Karen Martin. And now our major, drum major, Saxon Ball. Our halftime show is a jazz show. First song, Birdland, followed by a night in Tunisia. The Colonial Regiment of John Curtis, along with the dance line, flag team, and pep squad.
We're in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It's halftime, and John Curtis has a 13-0 lead over University Lab in the LHSAA State Farm Prep Classic. This is the Division II state championship game. Welcome back, everyone, with Fox Sports New Orleans analyst Renee Nadeau. I'm Lynn Rollins. Renee, we both knew this would be a hard-hitting, very hard-fought, close-to-the-vest football game, but quite frankly, I'm a little bit surprised at the scarcity of points.
Well, both defenses are excellent defense. They score a lot of points on offense, but don't allow a lot on defense, and have really stepped up. Both defenses have great athletes.
This John Curtis team has held a team averaging well over 40 points a game to nothing in the first two quarters. Let's look at some of the defensive prowess by John Curtis, as twice they stopped Manny Miles on fourth down attempts.
And hit sacks. They've sacked him a couple of times already, gotten good pressure on him, and this is Miles Washington with an interception right in the early in the second quarter. And coming back, Manny Miles again throwing the ball. Oh, he's going to be sacked again. This is the second time he's been sacked. Great pressure from the Patriot defensive front. And this is across the field on fourth down. Almost completed that. That would have been a gutsy play. Almost came up with a big play. And this was the Raekwon James run. He just ran against the grain, followed his vision, faked a couple of defenders out of their boots into the end zone. 37-yard scamper put the Patriots on top early in the first half. And Manny Miles comes back and throws a long pass, which is intercepted by Hunter Dale, his 8th pick of the season. And what an exciting return that was. And Abby Tuzette with a little flip on a screen pass to Raekwon James Lynn. He does the rest, 13 yards into the end zone, putting John Curtis up on top, 13-0.
And that was the final play from scrimmage in the second quarter. The extra point was good after the first one failed. It's time for the Talkin' T-Shirts first half statistics.
Well, John Curtis, 14 minutes, time of possession. They've made the most of it, but those have been hard-earned yards. John Curtis, 150 yards rushing, University 83. And, you know, I tell you what, it's close. 189 yards for Curtis, total yards, 134 for the Cubs. It's been very close, and I suspect his score is going to change quite a bit. University's got some weapons.
University averages well over 300 yards rushing per game. It has been held to 83 by a very smart, stingy, hard-hitting, and swarming John Curtis defense. 13-0. John Curtis leads at the break. Oh, okay. Okay, Mushmek Photography is the last one, right? Okay. The LHSAA State Farm Prep Classic, presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, is brought to you by State Farm, title sponsor of the 2013 Prep Classic. By ExxonMobil and ISC, sponsors of the All-Academic Scholar Athlete Program. by Lake Charles Memorial Sports Medicine, a regional healthcare partner of the LHSAA, and by Mushmek Photography, the official photographer of the LHSAA. Raekwon James on the final play from scrimmage in the second quarter adds the second touchdown for John Curtis. It's 13-0.
Refinery, and Ms. Stephanie Joffrion, marketing coordinator for ISC. They are accompanied by LHSAA Executive Committee members Hub Jordan and David Federico and Mr. Richard Laverne, past LHSAA Executive Committee member. The first All-State All-Academic representative in Division II from St. Charles High School, Andrew Polis. Our next recipient from St. Michael's High School, Kyle Bankston. From St. Thomas More High School, Floyd Carey. Also from St. Thomas More, Gavin Giosa. Ladies and gentlemen, take a good look at these four senior football players. 4 years of high school, perfect 4.0 GPAs their entire high school career while playing the sport of football. Once again, the LHSAA thanks ExxonMobil, along with ISC, for their support of the all-academic program. And congratulations to our 2013 recipients. Ladies and gentlemen, if you keep your attention at midfield, we have a presentation of the 2012 Louisiana Football Coaches Association Coach of the Year Award. Coach Kenny Giat began his high school coaching career at Bernard Terrence Elementary and has other coaching stops at Broadmoor High School, Tara High School, and Woodlawn of Baton Rouge, also Nichols State University and McNeese State University. And he has been head coach at Parkview Baptist High School for the last 15 years. During his career as head coach, his teams have been in the playoffs 16 out of 17 years, with 5 appearances in the state championship game, winning 4 state championships. He and his wife, Sandra, have 5 children and 8 grandchildren. In 2012, he led the Eagles to a perfect 13-0 state championship record. The 2012 Class 3A Coach of the Year, head coach Kenny Giat of the Parkview Baptist Eagles. Coach Shane Smith, president of the Football Coaches Association, is presenting his award.
Has come for us. Let's get it. It's like I've seen this all before. I've dreamed it 1,000 times. No matter what, I can't lose. The game's already mine. I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone.
Who's getting the opening? Who's getting the kickoff?
It's like I've seen this all before. I've dreamed it 1,000 times. No matter what, I can't lose. The game's already mine. I'm in the zone.
We'll start the third quarter in the Division II State Football Championship game in just a moment. John Curtis leads 13-0. First, let's check in with Aaron Cofield with Coach Chad Mahaffey. Aaron?
Coach, a scoreless game until late in the second quarter there. What changed?
Well, I mean, we kind of overran fit on a play, and then obviously they got that big one there in the second half. But our defense has really played great. You know, they played them very well. Offensively, we just, struggling a little bit right now, but it's a good team, and we got to keep battling and just try and get something going to help our defense out.
What did you tell your team during the break?
Just to not panic. You know, we're a team that scored quickly and scored a lot of points, so we just got to keep doing what we're doing. Defense got to come out and continue what they were doing, try and make a stop here, and offense just get it going.
All right, good luck in the second half. Guys?
Thank you very much. You know, Renee, this is a very powerful university team. It scored 45 against St. Louis in the opening round of the playoffs, 55 against number 7 Turlings Catholic, 58 against number 6 Parkway in the semifinals. And so even though it has been shut out in the first 24 minutes, and that just never happens to University High, this is a team with great offensive potential. But that team in red, which will get the football first in the second half, certainly has just drawn a line in the artificial surface here and dared University High to cross it. And yes, there's been some yardage, but by far and away, this is the best defensive effort that University High has seen from an opponent this year.
Absolutely, and both teams have some foot soldiers, Marrero and James for John Curtis and Nick Brossette, over 2,000 yards rushing on the season. But both teams can't get away from the ability to throw the ball. John Curtis doesn't throw maybe 10 times a game, but they have to keep that element in their offense, throwing the ball, and certainly University High. Manny Miles has managed that offense and done a good job delivering the pass. He's hit some receivers with Dotson and Brand Broussard on 4 or 5 occasions, but they need to keep that element of the offense still there.
Let's look at the numbers for Nick Brossette and also Raekwon James. And you see that Raekwon James with 63 yards, but he's gotten into the end zone a couple of times, one by the pass reception. Brossette with 73 yards on 14 carries, but most of that, Renee, came on 2 gallops. 30 is his longest run of the day. Most of the time, this John Curtis team has put a cork in the bottle of Brossette.
And you look at what John Curtis has done on the ground. Raekwon James averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Miles Washington, 7.8. So there, every time they touch the ball, it's nearly a first down or close, or shrinks the chains a little bit. But again, going back to the passing game again, Manny Miles, 6 out of 13 thus far with 1 interception and Miles Washington used 5 attempts thus far.
University will kick off. Both touchdowns for the Patriots came in the second quarter. The final one on the final play in regulation in the second quarter. Terrence Alexander is back as the primary receiver of the kickoff. And here we go. This one popped up short to the left side and grabbed at the 30. And moving out to about the 38 or the 39-yard line is George Marrera. Well, they hit it high and hit it short, but they kicked it to a guy who has had plenty of experience handling the leather this year.
Yeah, well, that's why they designed that in that return. They put their guys, John Curtis puts their guys who can return in the event they don't kick it all the way to Terrence Alexander, who can burn you. So that was maybe not a bad decision.
John Curtis with advantageous starting position at the 40-yard line after scoring 2 second-quarter touchdowns. Miles Washington is under center to open the third period. And once again, U-High with Johnny Guidry stuffing the play makes the hit on James.
John Guidry's come a long way. He's really stepped up. Good look at Sam Warrington right there. But John Guidry really has improved a whole lot this year. You know, University High with 35 quarterback sacks, 88 tackles for loss, and 8 interceptions thus far. Their defense is very active.
Second down and 9. Very seldom do the Patriots differ from the lineup you see with a wide receiver left, one right, and the veer formation, and nowhere to go there for Miles Washington. Dylan Moses, whose name we have called frequently in the first half, was there for the stop.
Dylan Moses is a guy who's playing mostly on defense right now, but I would be surprised at some point we'll see him on offense. We will see him on offense before he departs University High. Good look at John Guidry right there, but Dylan Moses, number 6, is a freak. I mean, he's just a guy that can do so many things, and he's a man among boys.
John Guidry, also one of the leading tacklers today with 6 stops. Third down. And John Curtis stays on the ground and trying to dig for just enough yardage. Is a determined run from Miles Washington, and he has come very close to the first down yardage.
And he follows the center, which is Tim Liu, and Kirkland Brim and Sean Barrett, the guards, really came off that ball with a surge. 4th and short, and the Patriots are going to go for it. Very confident they can get it they're in their own territory at their own 49-yard line.
So a big play early in the third quarter from midfield as John Curtis keeps its offense on the field. 4th and a short 1. Washington is trying to draw the defensive line offside, handoff to the left side, and George Marrera blasts his way for the yard needed and 5 more. A 6-yard pickup to the 45.
Good block by the tackle, Brad Fraser. That time as Trey Jackson makes the stop for University, stopping a touchdown. But good surge off the ball, a good seal block by Hunter Thibodeau coming from his tight end position, allowing him a cavity to run through.
Brent Ruiz and Sean Barrett on the left side, 265 and 270 respectively. Lou the center at 220, and rumbling into the secondary as John Curtis continues to run the ball effectively is Miles Washington. That one good for 12.
You got your linebackers up close, and he's still getting good block on Brumfield. And you see Dylan Moses was penetrating on the right side, but he got to the second level pretty quickly. Good stop by Chandler Johnson. Stopped a long run, maybe a touchdown.
There is something that John Curtis is seeing at the line of scrimmage to keep running that quarterback sneak effectively.
Well, there's cavities inside, and also credit the offensive line, which is really blocking well, giving them that ample room to run through.
Abby Toussaint has returned to the lineup at quarterback. He hands it off to James, and Raekwon finds running room to the left side across the 20, and still battling for yardage at the 17-yard line. Brant Broussard, one of the safeties, made the stop for University.
Raekwon James, not a big guy, 5'9", 188, Lynn, but there's a lot of fight in him as he just takes this and finds a crease, breaks through a would-be tackle, and then comes away with Trey Jackson and just will not be tackled. And finally, this stop made by a host of University Cubs, but not before the damage was done inside the red zone at the 17.
This is the Coke Zero red zone where John Curtis is 1 for 1 today. Here's that counter handoff, and it is stuffed by John Guidry as he zeroed in on Miles Washington and knocked him down for a loss. John Guidry has played very fine football.
John Guidry with about 20 tackles for loss this season, came in with 18 and a half, and he just came off the ball with a great head of steam and made the stop in the backfield before Miles Washington could find any opening.
That previous play by James was good for 16, and that puts him near 100 on the day. Abby Toussaint has returned to the lineup at quarterback on 2nd and 12. Bordelon in motion to the ball. Toussaint rolls right, throws it short. One-handed catch on the hands of James, and now it dribbles down his arm and falls incomplete.
He was in single coverage with Larion James, a linebacker. Showed some great ability, and had Larion James not made contact, Raekwon James made the catch, and you see Abby Toussaint was just beside himself, couldn't complete the pass. 3rd and 12 for the Patriots at the 19-yard line.
Raekwon James nearly made that one-handed, left-handed snare, but it brings up 3rd and 12.
That would have been his 6th catch of the season. He's got 1 he took for a touchdown, took to the house right before the halftime break.
Toussaint retreats, throws the screen back to the left side. Morera has it, slips a tackle, and fights his way down near the 12, or inside the 10, down near the 7-yard line. Brant Broussard made the stop there. This is very close to a first down, and Morera, there is a defensive player who appears to be injured.
Matthew Berg right now, and they could ill afford to lose his services. He's played a whale of a game at defensive end for the Cubs.
Berg is gathering himself. It'll be 4th down and about 2 as they marked forward progress down at the 9.
Abby Toussaint, Lynn, just threw it to Morero and just let his playmakers make plays out in the open. And, the first tackle is really going to bring down Morero. He sliced down inside the 10-yard line, and now 4th and manageable, but they're going for it on 4th.
Berg leaves the game with 4 tackles. Washington is back in. He hands it off, and the play is stuffed. University has taken over on downs. Raekwon James found no running room as the left side defensively plugged every lane.
What a big defensive stand that time for the Cub defense as Larion James and others, Sam Wharton, Greg Bowser, among others, really held that ground and did not allow a first down. As you see, right, there's Greg Bowser right here, and taking him on is number 20. That's Larion James, made the initial stop from his inside linebacker position.
So the score remains 13-0 as John Curtis drives into the red zone and cannot finish. John Curtis by 13. A 10-play, 52-yard drive covering 4 minutes and 15 seconds, extended into the red zone, but U-High holds on 4th down, and now the Cubs will try to get something going. Brosette to the right side, turns the wing, and is turned over near the 14-yard line. Nick Brosette stopped by Prine Lewis, the cornerback.
You see Brosette just taking the ball in a wildcat situation and just running and just following his eyes, and with great running skills. Prine Lewis puts a stop on it, but not before. Great field is a nice pickup of 6 yards.
1-4 ran into the other. Brosette again taking the direct snap, lumbering ahead, leaning and falling forward to the 19. That's good enough for the first down. Renee, we do not know if U-High is going to be able to mount an attack to produce enough points to win. But certainly that defensive stop a few seconds ago on 4th down deep in the red zone has given the Cubs a chance here in the third quarter.
And that momentum carries over to the offense. As you say, they come out on 2 carries and a first down. Brosette now a different situation as Brosette was taking the snap right from center.
Miles is in the game, but Brosette takes the snap, runs to the right side, and this time John Curtis is waiting. Very little there, if anything.
You know, Brosette's the guy you want to get your hands on the ball, Lynn. He's, as we said, he averages over 8 yards per carry, over 2,000 yards this season for his career, 5,749 yards and 110 touchdowns, and he's still got a year to go.
17 carries, 84 yards for Brosette. U-High unable to get its running game going. Dylan Moses is stopped. There's LSU's coach, Les Miles, with Kathy Miles seated to Les's right, your left on the screen, and I believe that is daughter Smacker.
Yep, and his wife there is making sure, and there's Frank Wilson right here, one of the big recruiters of the LSU Tigers. I'm sure they're watching, making sure nobody slips through the cracks.
Les is calling plays, I believe.
I think it's Kathy's checking off on him, making sure that Manny makes the right call.
Manny Miles retreats, looks, throws it deep. It is on target, incomplete it appears. Grant Broussard had his hands on it, and then there was legal contact by the defender, and the ball knocked loose. Prine Lewis was defending the play.
And Grant Broussard and Prine Lewis have had a battle all day today. As you see Manny Miles just airing it out, good touch on the ball, but Prine Lewis with a good break swats it away, and a 5'9", 170-pound senior Prine Lewis with a big-time stop on that would have been a completed pass.
That was a well-delivered ball, on time and on target, but the defender played it as nicely as you can. Chandler Johnson is back in punt formation, or back to receive the snap for the kick. It's bobbled and down he goes inside the 5-yard line. That could be a critical mistake. Dante Jones was there to make the tackle inside the 5. They will place it 1st and goal at the 3. In the Coke Zero red zone.
Dante Jones, who doubles as a running back. Special teams is important. Comes through a gap, untouched, makes the stop, and wow, John Curtis now with 1st and goal from the 3-yard line of the Cubs. Special teams miscue, they will kill you, Lennon. We talked a little bit earlier how special teams may play a role in this game.
Abby Toussaint is the quarterback. Split backfield behind him. Hand off to James over the right side. He's knocked down just short of the stripe. Lorion James made the hit on Raekwon James.
Raekwon James just staying low near the goal, following the offensive lineman up front being Kirkland Brim, number 64, number 73, Brad Fraser. Gets him close to the goal, but just a yard shy.
Morera on the left side, James on the right in the backfield. The quarterback keeps, steps into the end zone, touchdown, Miles Washington. Miles Washington pulled the ball out of the midsection of James and stepped to the end zone around the right side. A 1-yard touchdown run by the junior quarterback, and that is his 14th rushing touchdown of the season.
Fakes the dive, and everyone goes with Raekwon James as he's had such a big night thus far. But as you see, Gregory Bowser got on Raekwon James, but Miles Washington was unattended as Chandler Johnson was the only one who had a shot on him, but it was too late. He was already in the end zone.
There was little Chandler Johnson could do as the quarterback lowered his shoulder at the goal line. The extra point is up, and it is no good. But Miles Washington on a 1-yard touchdown run extends the lead to 19-0 for John Curtis. The Patriots are the first to the scoreboard in the third quarter, and John Curtis extends its lead to 19-0 with 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Let's look at the scoring drive brought to you by Baden. Miles Washington carried it over from 1 yard away. It took only 2 plays to move 3 yards, following a long snap to the punter, which dribbled off his chest. He was tackled at the 3-yard line. The extra point was no good by Austin Linden, but it's 19-0 now, and the mountain gets taller as University has a long way to come back. This kick is handled by Dotson at the 5 to the 24, maybe the 25-yard line. A nice return by the senior wide receiver who has scored 17 touchdowns this year, 15 through the air, 1 returning a punt and 1 returning a kickoff for a touchdown.
He's got over 1,300 all-purpose yards. He's a dangerous guy, 4.35 speed. He is a danger with the ball, with his hands on the ball, Lynn.
They have not been able to find him but once in the passing game, and that came in the first half. He is averaging 26.5 yards per catch.
Look at Manny Miles, 6 out of 14, 51 yards, 1 pick. A couple of close calls, but no touchdowns thus far.
Miles is a capable thrower. We'll see if University elects to try to air it out a little more. The first play from scrimmage is handed off to Nick Brosette, and the bulldozer finds his way to the 37-yard line.
Coming right
Making
at you.
the 32, I'm sorry.
As you see the good pull right there by the tackle, number 74, E.J. Oglesby, opening a hole for Brosette to run through.
And we've got a penalty marker down before this play develops. It is usually against the offense.
Dead ball, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, second out.
These are the things which make the task much more difficult. Instead of second and short, now you've got second and close to 8.
Yeah, and you got to change your approach a little bit. It's not the same play. You got a little longer to go, and things change a little bit with a penalty.
Miles fires it to the sideline. It's tipped. It's intercepted. Picked off by Terrence Alexander. There is a penalty marker down, though, at the line of scrimmage. Terrence Alexander made a juggling interception. Let's check the marker. It is a personal foul, contact to the head against the defense.
That'll erase Alexander's interception and give the ball right back to University, along with a step off of 15 yards.
I'm not sure if this is a post-possession foul, however. So we'll see who has possession of the ball.
Personal foul. Illegal helmet contact. Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It is going to be ruled possession to University. Illegal contact to the head was the initial signal. So a personal foul gives University the ball at the 44-yard line. And Chad Mahaffey is very happy over that decision. J.T. Curtis wants an explanation.
Got smoke coming out of his ears. He's not too happy about that. He's coaching like he's 19 points behind right now, and that's a little bit of a break for University. To see if they can capitalize on that penalty with 4:13 to go here in the third quarter.
It wipes away a very alert defensive play by the cornerback Terrence Alexander.
Yes, outstanding play by Terrence Alexander, balancing the ball and coming up with an interception off the tip drill to himself.
It would have been his third of the season. Here is Brosette, angling to the left side. He's got close to 10. He's run out of bounds. It appears just short of the first down marker. Kenny Young ushered him out of bounds after a 9-yard advance. And Brosette on that run is at 100 yards.
Inside handoff, as you see the offensive lineman pulling, but he just outruns Hezekiah White and ushered out of bounds by Kenny Young. And Kenny Young's been asked so much more to do as a linebacker, inside linebacker with so much experience leaving last year.
Brosette patiently looking to find a bit of a crack through which to run, and it appears he has the first down at the 46-yard line.
Get a chance to show you one of LSU's commitments from that University offensive line, number 77, Garrett Brumfield. What an outstanding player he can be when we get a chance.
A 6'4", 279-pound senior tackle.
Good looking at him right there. We'll talk about him after this play.
First and 10. Brosette again patiently waiting for something to open up. Not much does. He's got a couple of yards.
Talking about Brumfield a little bit, Lynn. He committed to LSU over Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida. He's got a bench press of 330, squats 520. He's a two-time All-State performer. As you say, he's got good size, good punch, explosive out of his stance. He's got all the quickness, all the nasty about him, good pop. He may play as a freshman, may move inside to guard. He's got some feet. He runs pretty well. He's about a 5 flat guy, so they're glad to have him, LSU Tigers.
Miles fakes, rolls right, lets it fly, and it is incomplete. He tried to sneak it into Brant Broussard, and Broussard could not complete the comeback diving catch.
That's a tough throw by Manny Miles to roll right and throw a dart, but Brian Lewis with a good break on the ball and swats it away. Third down and 8 yards to go, but a nice delivery by Manny Miles.
The Cubs need to reach the 35-yard line, and this is probably 2-down territory. Miles fakes the pitch and then is decked after a 3-yard advance to the 40. Ryan Guthrie, the nose tackle at 5'11" and 270 pounds, made the stop.
He just absorbs blockers as from a nose tackle position, not a glorious position. He just straps it on and occupies as many blockers or free up those linebackers for the Patriots.
It is 4th and 5 with 2:25 remaining in the third quarter. John Curtis got 2 second quarter scores and has added another one here in the third. Miles retreats, avoids a tackler, gets a block, buys some time, now has to throw it, and it's incomplete down near the 15-yard line. So Manny Miles, under pressure, finally had to get rid of it, and it falls incomplete. It was Kenny Young who delivered the blow to the young quarterback at the end of the play.
Watch this. Kenny Young just unloaded. As soon as he let the ball go, watch this collision. Bang! You can hear the wood crack from up here. Kenny Young, a legitimate collision, but he just brought it to Manny Miles and made him pay for that pass, and he couldn't step into his throw, and that was a that's a tough arm to take a hit like that and get up. A little concern on Dad's face. Well, Manny Miles is a pretty good pitcher, Len. He's won a state championship last year, a couple of no-hitters, no shutouts for a baseball pitcher for the University Cup, so he's quite an athlete.
1st and 10 for John Curtis with a 19-0 lead. And Morera runs into the secondary before he's stopped by Dylan Moses.
Morera runs through a nice hole with a good lead block by Raekwon James. Look, the guy who scored a couple of touchdowns now turns into a blocker for Morera, who picks up a first down. And you know, Morera's a guy that a lot of recruiters know a lot about, Lynn. He's got interest from Houston and Louisiana Tech, ULL, Tulane, and Southern Mississippi. And he's over 210 pounds, so he's got a lot of size to him and good quickness, and obviously he's the skills to play on the next level.
1st and 10, and John Curtis will be very basic here with a 19-0 lead. Morera, who is over 100 yards today, cracks his way for 4 to the 45. And he'll come to the sideline and get a rest.
Morera's had some big games this year. 161 yards, 3 scores against Edna Carr, and 141 yards and a pair of touchdowns against St. Charles. He steps up big in the big games. He reminds the coaching staff a lot of Chris Howard, who played at John Curtis, played this game a few years ago, went on to Michigan and the Oakland Raiders. He's got that kind of skill.
Washington keeps it. Stiff arms his way past one tackler, but he cannot shed John Guidry, who has been all over the field for University.
Impressed with him, Lynn, and he's really improved, as we said, 6'3", 230, a senior, and he's really come on the second half of this season and really showed he's got the skills to play. He got in a rotation last year, but really played well in a lot of part of this season. Chad Mahaffey's got a lot coming back next year, of course. Their quarterback Manny Miles is coming back, and Brissett comes back. Trey Jackson on offense. He's got so many positions. He may find a spot in the Superdome Classic again in 2014.
We come to the closing seconds of the third quarter, and John Curtis continues to deliver running the football. Miles Washington again on the keeper. And Renee, here in the second half, quarterback sneaks have certainly been effective for John Curtis.
Those offensive linemen are, chalking up brownie points where they're blocking and opening big holes for those running backs. And Miles Washington has made a living out of running that quarterback sneak all afternoon. First down again for the Patriots. Sean Barrett who's a left guard, and Brant Ruiz, the left guard, both have done a great job on the left side.
Tim Liu, Kirkland Brim, Brad Frazier, all of them starting to really assert themselves at the line of scrimmage on the offensive line. 19-0 with 12 minutes left in the Division II championship game. John Curtis is ahead. The LHSAA State Farm Prep Classic, presented by NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, is brought to you by State Farm, a title sponsor of the 2013 Prep Classic. By NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, presenting sponsor of the 2013 Prep Classic. By Coke Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. By J.C. Fodale Energy Services, the official kickoff sponsor of the Prep Classic. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, the card accepted by more top doctors. Welcome back, everyone, with Chad Sabadie and Aaron Cofield and Renee Nadeau. I'm Lynn Rollins. We go to the fourth quarter. John Curtis is 19 points ahead of University. Dylan Moses on another stop of George Morera, but right now the ground game not only has become more effective for John Curtis, it is eating into that clock.
It really is, and it's you know, the thing is, you know, Curtis will pound you, you hit the line, and all of a sudden come up with a pass, and you know, the thing is, right now they're coming off the line and really knocking University back a couple of yards and allowing those running backs, Morera and Raekwon James, along with Miles Washington, to gain first downs.
2nd and 9. James slips through and slithers to the 25. That appears to be enough for the first down. Dylan Moses made the stop. That's his 6th tackle of the game.
Raekwon James is so smooth. He's very elusive. Not a big guy, as we said, 188 pounds. And he can play defensive back as well. But, you know, Tulsa, Colorado, Southern Miss, Arizona State are looking at him, and he'll get a chance to play as well. And he's a good athlete, may play on either side of the ball, but, boy, what skills he has.
We're a minute deep into the 4th quarter. John Curtis is in control, 19-0. George Morera plants his foot and goes to the 21-yard line. Let's check in with Chad Sabity. Chad?
Hey guys, joining me now, a very special guest, Duke Riley, the former John Curtis standout linebacker, current LSU Tiger. 19-0, Duke. What do you think about your former team so far?
Oh, you know, they're doing a real good job. They just got to keep pushing, keep fighting, you know. Keep putting the pressure on them, you know. They're doing a real good job, and Coach JT is doing great things here. He's going to continue to do great things in the future.
Last year, you were playing right alongside Kenny Young. He's having a fantastic ball game. Are you going to try to sway him to come join you at LSU?
You know, he's doing a really great job right now. You know, he's going to continue to do a great job. I mean, but the college decision, I want him to go what college fits him best. You know, I don't want to put a pressure on him and make him come to LSU, which I would love him to come, you know, but it's really his decision and his family decision, whatever fits him best and whatever he can see himself doing the best on and off the field.
John Curtis, a program with a lot of pride. If your former teammates can punch it in right here, is this game over? Is your school on its way to its 3rd consecutive state title?
I mean, they're punching in here to be a really great big deal, but the game really not over until it's 0-0-0 in the fourth quarter.
All right, Duke, thank you for your time.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Lynn, Renee, he's a smart man and a heck of a football player as well. Let's go back to you in the booth.
Well, his John Curtis team has a first down inside the Coke Zero red zone at the 14-yard line. And squirming for yardage is Dante Jones, who rushed for 155 yards on a minimum of carries in the during the regular season. He averaged 9 yards a carry, a 5'9", 210-pound junior. Garrett Brumfield made the stop. I beg your pardon. Yes, go ahead.
Dante Jones, the guy who made that big tackle, allowing on that punt that was muffled punt by trying to get the punt away by University, was led to a touchdown by John Curtis.
Once again, John Curtis just lining up and handing the football off and pounding its way for yardage. That is Josiah Pernasharo. That's his first carry.
He's a good special teams guy. Then you're seeing guys like Pernasharo come in, Devon Ben, Dante Jones. It never stops. They come in waves at you from John Curtis, and you know, when Morero and Raekwon James take a seat, there's more guys to fill a role.
14 of the 16 John Curtis first downs in this game have come on the ground. Miles Washington hands it off to George Morera, and he's in the end zone. It's his first touchdown of the championship game, and it's the 4th score by John Curtis, taking a 25-0 lead.
Now it's just power football and following his shoulder pads, going behind Sean Barrett and Brent Ruiz, left tackle. Look, you see right there, what a good surge up in front of him, and a good block by number 81, Hunter Thibodeau. Didn't catch the ball very much, but what a good blocking tight end he is. Good looking at him right there, and that offensive line deserves a lot of credit for allowing those running backs the cavity to run through.
That is touchdown number 12 for George Morera, And John Curtis will go for 2. Eight minutes and 38 seconds are left in the fourth quarter. Let's look at George Morera's 12th touchdown of the season.
And what great surge off the line. And that Willie Allen is another one, number 77, 6'6", 285 right there. Really was a big, came off the ball hard to give that room to get into the end zone.
You know, Renee, you can certainly point out all the superlatives of John Curtis, but one of the things that impresses me the most, there's not a person in this building, and there's not a player on that university sideline that doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah,
and still can't stop it.
And they still can't stop it. They do think they're very technically sound. Both these teams are, Lennon. They don't get here by accident. Both University and John Curtis have earned a way to be here and earned the right to be here. And unfortunately, right now, Curtis is putting more distance between themselves and University. Good look right there is Jerry Godfrey, the offensive line coach, former Tulane Green Wave, and a John Curtis hat, shouting instructions to his line mates. John Curtis has turned out 13 guys in the NFL. You look at Michael Stonebreaker and Joe McKnight, Reggie Dupard. They turn out some great talent year in and year out.
Gabby Toussaint is under center as the Patriots try to collect 2 on the extra point. Toussaint looking, 2-man pattern, throws it back and out of the reach of a receiver who had delayed and then sort of snuck out. That was Hunter Thibodeau, the tight end on the left side, but the ball well overthrown. However, with 8:38 remaining in the fourth quarter, John Curtis can see its 26th state championship with a 25-0 lead. Eight minutes and 38 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. John Curtis is in a place it has often been before, and that is with a lead in the fourth period. And at this point, a 25-0 advantage over University. Devontae Dotson back to receive the kickoff. Dodson from the goal line, and he's knocked down short of the 20. John Curtis suffered 2 defeats during the regular season. One was in week 2 to St. Thomas Aquinas out of Florida, and the other was a 1-point loss in week 5 to St. Augustine, 29-28.
You know, Lynn, too, John Curtis has been coaching 45 years, a couple lean years early on, 0-10 seasons, but he's won 529 games. 90% of his games he's won overall. That says an awful lot.
That's an astounding number. It rolls off the tongue rather easily, and many of us who have watched Louisiana football for decades, I guess, become acclimated to it. But when you put it like that, Renee, you win over 90% of your games in a 45-year career.
only lost 56 games the whole time. And again, that's including a couple of 0-10 seasons. So there's been not a lot of L's in that. He's had a taste losses not very often.
Chandler Johnson hooks up with Devontae Dotson. Let's check in with Aaron Cofield. Aaron?
Well, and for U-High, this game's certainly not going the way that they'd intended. They do have a lot of seniors, but they also have a lot of guys kind of returning and coming back, including him, freshman Dylan Moses. Now, he made national headlines earlier this summer when he was on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, for his recruiting. He did commit to LSU, but he first got scholarship offers as an 8th grader. So it just goes to show how much potential they see in him. And not only him, but several other players. I know we've discussed Nick Brissett a lot in this game, and Manny Miles. So certainly a silver lining for U-High to take from this will be the experience and the opportunity to get back here perhaps next year.
2nd and 9 for U-High as you get another look at Dylan Moses. Chandler Johnson throws it to the left side. He finds a receiver who moves upfield for 5 or 6. That's Devontae Dotson on the reception before Kenny Young knocked him down.
The one guy's not on the field right now is Trey Jackson, who's a sophomore cornerback and wide receiver, already committed to Florida. His dad, Jack Jackson, played at Florida. He used to catch passes from Danny Werfel, played for Chicago Bears, and once caught a touchdown pass against LSU and beat LSU October 1992.
Coach Chad Mahaffey is in his 4th season. He was 8-4 the first year, 12-1 the second year, 12-2 the third year, 13-0 this year, 45-7 in 4 years, and they have advanced farther and farther into the playoffs each year. They were in the semifinals last year.
Yeah, they lost to Evangel 45-42, and they'll take this game, whatever happens, and move on from it, build on it, just like they did last year in the semifinals against Evangel. And losing by 3 points against Evangel kind of stung a little bit, but they stepped up, and I think you'll see and hear a lot from this team in years to come.
Nick Brissett very close to a first down on that 4th down run, and the officials will call for a measurement. U-High has been shut out through 3.5 quarters. It's a team averaging 46.7 points a game and scored 45, 55, and 58 in the playoffs.
And that spread offense, and up-tempo kind of team. They run a lot of plays. They like to run 70, 75 plays if possible. That really, they made the first down by just a tip of a nose, but it's really tough to defend a team that runs that well, runs offense that well and spread offense and gets that many plays. Got a good staff with him, too.
This John Curtis team has allowed 6 points in the playoffs, 6 points in postseason. Chandler Johnson rolls right, fires, incomplete. That one momentarily on the hands of Brant Broussard, and then he was separated from the ball.
Brant Broussard, the best outside. He's an outside receiver, runs some great routes. Just couldn't collect and bring that in this time. And
watch Hezekiah White close on the receiver.
Wow, and I think Brant Broussard saw him coming and kind of had second thoughts.
2nd and 10 from the 40. 6 minutes are left. Johnson skips that one in, intended for Devontae Dotson.
And Chandler Johnson, Lynn, it just wasn't in sync that time. He delivered the ball a little too quick and didn't throw the ball very well and threw it a little too short, threw it at the receiver's feet.
21 of the 25 championships won by John Curtis have come in this building. The other 4 at Tad Gormley Stadium in New Orleans, at Tulane Stadium, at East Jefferson Stadium in New Orleans, and also at Independence Stadium in Shreveport.
Devontae Dotson with a crossing route that time, and boy, you better throw the ball a little low. And he kind of hung the receiver out a little bit and couldn't come down with it, but he took a hit, incomplete. Devontae Dotson was the intended target.
Manny Miles will return as the starting quarterback next year. He'll be a senior in 2014. And Coach Chad Mahaffey has decided that senior Chandler Johnson will finish at quarterback here in the fourth quarter. Terrence Alexander back to receive this punt. He watches it bounce, and he will stay away from it as it rolls to a stop at the 13-yard line. 5 minutes and 39 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. It's Dome, Sweet Dome for John Curtis, ahead 25-0. First and 10 for John Curtis, enjoying a 25-0 lead with just over 5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And John Curtis continues to stick the ball in the hands of a lot of running backs. And it's a running attack that has been pretty successful today. The latest run by Raekwon James. He scored a couple of touchdowns. And a little bit of scuffling at the end of the play, but no flags. James with 97 yards. Washington with 67. Herrera with 62. And those three also have touchdowns.
The thing is, Raekwon James did a lot of his damage beyond, once he got in the open and did a lot of it on his own. You look at John Gidger right there. He's really played with his heart and soul today. But Raekwon James did an outstanding job. The thing is, Curtis will have some guys returning. Tuzette will return at quarterback, and Miles Washington will go back and be the feature running back for 2014.
Here is Miles Washington breaking a tackle. A flag is down behind the play, and Washington running hard all the way to the 41-yard line. But let's check the penalty marker back between the 20 and 25-yard lines. This John Curtis team has taken big gaps out of the University defense, and it has only thrown the ball twice in the second half, Renee, 1 for 2. Everything else has been on the ground. And there's a man who has stuck with the formula. It's not sexy, it's not flashy, but it is championship.
Holding, offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense. Can we marked off? First down.
That's not going to make JT Curtis happy. 2 penalties on the same play. He probably won't mind the hold, but he will not like the unsportsmanlike call.
No, and this will be addressed. I guarantee, even though the season's over after this game, unsportsmanlike, and there's some shoving as Gregory Bowser right now is in pursuit of Miles Washington. We'll see if we can pick up where the penalty happened. Did see it.
The hold was pretty clear in the middle of your screen.
Personal foul infraction. Not sure where that may have come from, but JT's such a great coach, but he's a good individual. He's an ordained minister. He's been coach of the year. He's right behind. He's got 529 wins. He's behind national all-time coach of the year, or coach winningest coach, and in high school history, John McKissick from Somerville,
Down will be
South
second
Carolina,
down.
who's 87 years old. If JT coaches until he's 87 at the pace he's going, Lynn, he'll have 749 wins at the pace he's going. So that's...
Well, he certainly doesn't look like he's been on the sidelines for 45 years. But I guess when you win 90% of your games, you don't get a lot of worry lines, do you? Four and a half minutes are left, and the clock continues to move. Abby Toussaint lost his headgear. He'll come out of the ball game. He's replaced by Bernasharo again.
And the thing is, you know, JT Curtis allows his quarterbacks, Miles Washington and Abby Toussaint, to switch at the line of scrimmage if they see something they don't like, or switch the play maybe from right to left, or whatever it may be. So they are prepared to make that adjustment and change at the line of scrimmage.
John Curtis continues to do what it normally does, and that is keep the ball on the ground.
Just trying to get out of the way while he runs.
Brock Hebert has come into the ball game at quarterback, and now John Curtis will put its punting unit on the field.
That's Trey Jackson right there, and he's a cornerback, and he was one that committed to Florida's day at Jack Jackson. He was a target of Danny Werfel many, many times. And in fact, we said he caught a touchdown pass against LSU from Shane Matthews in 1992, beat the Tigers 28-21.
Austin Linden's kick sails to the 45 and gets a favorable roll all the way to the 24-yard line. A huge kick.
Wow.
That's better than half the length of the field.
Outstanding roll, outstanding kick, and
62 yards later, University puts its offense on the field at the 24-yard line with 2:54 remaining in the fourth quarter.
The University certainly wants to remove that zero off the scoreboard with just under 3 minutes to go. There's a little pride there.
Renee, to put this in perspective, and again, we've talked about the numbers, but since 1975, there has never been a football player at John Curtis High School to have graduated without at least one state championship ring.
That's unbelievable. That's quite a legacy there. And when you go to Curtis, you expect to win state championships. You're not going there hoping to win.
Chandler Johnson is the target, and flags come flying, or Chandler Johnson throwing it to Jake Alexander, and he was interfered with. This will bring a first down to University with 2:48 remaining.
And any coach, JT Curtis included, and Chad Mahaffey, does not want to see their team get sloppy at this part of the game, regardless of the score.
Defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
And you can see the receiver before the ball came down. Obviously, that was contact made with Matrell McGraw, one of the best strong safeties in the country. Oregon, UCLA, Florida State, and Alabama are hot on this trail. He'll play at one of those schools, but what a great strong safety. Made bad judgment there on contact.
First and 10 from the 39-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Johnson lets it fly, and that one falls incomplete in an open space. He was trying to get the ball to Devontae Dotson.
No hitch and go, and didn't. John Curtis brought the house that time on a blitz and didn't give Johnson ample opportunity to step into the throw and make a good throw. So he just aired it out there, and Devontae Dotson couldn't run underneath it.
Second and 10 with 2:42 remaining. Brosette is hit hard at the 40 and double teamed down. He'll be back for University next year.
And he's going to be one of the best. He already is considered one of the best running backs in next year's class, and he's already committed to LSU unless he changes his mind. He's got a lot of skills for a guy his size, 210. Got a little wiggle, got a little You know, he runs very, very hard, got good hands, good blocker, so he's the total package right now. A year to get better.
We move under the 2-minute mark. Johnson fires it over the middle. It is overthrown and almost intercepted. $25-0. John Curtis with 2 second-quarter touchdowns, 1 in the third period and 1 in the fourth.
Curtis kind of flexed their muscle at the end of the second quarter, Lynn, and really put a little space between themselves. They had a 13-point advantage, but they've really come out strong in the second half and really asserted themselves.
Terrence Alexander is back to receive what probably will be the final punt of the season.
Alexander's taken one back, 42 yards for a touchdown against Lusher, 85-yarder against East St. John. So you have to be careful how you kick to him.
Well, Coach Chad Mahaffey has improved at the playoff status of his team in each of the 4 years he's been at University. But he has run into the perennial state champion John Curtis team today, which has allowed no points to one of the leading scoring teams in the country.
Good look at Malachi Dupree right there, the bespectacled Malachi Dupree. I'm sure he's not happy he didn't get a chance to take part in this championship, but he had a lot to do with the team being where they are and the receiver he is, and wow, what a catch he's going to be wherever he goes. What a great athlete he is.
You know, Renee, as much success as John Curtis has had in this building, and it's phenomenal, in non-championship games in the Superdome, the Patriots are only 5-4. Who cares about that regular season stuff? They've had some marquee matchups in here, bringing in teams from outside Louisiana to play some non-conference games. And the punt is away and is killed at the 21. 1:47 remains. J.T. Curtis will soon win another championship. Brock Hebert is the quarterback. And the 6-foot, 200-pound sophomore hands it off to Devin Ben, also a sophomore. "80 seconds and counting. Second and 10. Hebert hands it off again. How far will this one go? Oh, the way to the end zone. 79 yards. It's a touchdown for Tyrone Chevalier.
Tyrone Chevalier throwing a little extra gear here. Good separation. In pursuit is Brant Broussard, but just could not catch up with him, and a faint-hearted try at the end, but Chevalier gets on the scoreboard. What an excited young man he has to be.
What a moment for the 5'10", 180-pound sophomore. Tyrone Chevalier scores in the final minute to move the game to 31-0.
And he'll be a foot soldier to keep an eye on next year, Lenny. A little extra gear there. Separation from the defensive backs and that 79-yard jump.
352 yards on the ground for John Curtis today. And the extra point is good by Cody Scheck-Snyder. Here is our Baden scoring drive, 2 plays, 79 yards. Tyrone Chevalier covering the distance on the second play of the drive, which only took 47 seconds.
He looked like he's been there before, didn't he?
I don't think he has, but he looked like it.
He looked like he could find the end zone pretty quickly. They just keep reloading again. You know, John Curtis has a lot of guys coming back. Offensive line, they're going to lose all the starters, really, where they have one guy coming back. But one guy to keep an eye on the offensive line, if we talked about, is Willie Allen, 6'6", 285. Excels in basketball. He's got great feet. He started at left tackle. He'll be a good one.
Well, Brent Ruiz also will come back as a tackle, a 6', 265-pounder.
And he was a conversion from defensive tackle.
And Hunter Thibodeau, the tight end, who has been sidelined in several games this year, will be back. He's a junior. Both quarterbacks will return. John Curtis will lose George Marrera and Raekwon James.
I remember last year when they lost Sherman Beatty and some other running backs. Who are they gonna use? George Marrero steps up. Raekwon James steps up. They're always running backs at John Curtis.
"60 seconds separate John Curtis from a 26th state championship. Austin Linden's kick reaches the end zone. Dotson fields it there. And for the final time in 2013, the Cubs will put their offense on the field. Two touchdowns in the first half for John Curtis, and 3 after intermission.
He's holding back a smile. He wants to smile. You know, winning never gets old if you talk to JT. Just, he's...
Johnson looking left side, finds a receiver for a short gain. The clock will continue to move.
And I'm excited about the potential University has under Chad Mahaffey, young coach, 35 years old, and done a great job with what he's had to work with in 4 years. He's got a lot of coming up, and a lot of support there at University High, the Cubs. The program is going to be nothing but get better.
Devontae Johnson on the last reception. We'll check his numbers in a moment. Johnson throws a strike into the hands of Brant Broussard. That's his longest reception of the season, of the game, as he moves up to midfield and a little beyond. They'll mark it at the 49.
Broussard with about 8 catches thus far on the game. He's had a pretty outstanding game and made some tough catches and good runs after catch.
Brosette for 8. 6 catches, 67 yards for Broussard. 4 catches, 31 yards for Dotson. The clock at 2. It is at 1. Let the celebration begin. For the 26th time in the history of John Curtis Patriot High School, there has been a championship. Renee, if you take a wide look at this field, you could put a championship trophy between every 5 yards, including 2 in each end zone, and still have 1 left over. That's how many championships this John Curtis team has won.
Unbelievable. And you take things for granted, but it's tough to get here, and it's tough to win. You know, so many things have to fall your way, and it's not easy. It's a system, and you really, he does a great job of plugging the right players in and getting them to buy into the system. And you know, he's done a great job, and he's also a people person. He's built character in all of his players throughout the years.
And as we look at this game in retrospect, perhaps it's not a surprise that John Curtis wins the championship. But to shut out one of the most powerful offensive teams in the state, University High, is a whole nother thing. And to win 32-0 against a very legitimate, very strong number 2 seed in University High, an undefeated team prior to this game. That makes this victory even more impressive.
You know, with the quarterback, Manny Miles and Nick Brissett, and the receivers they had, Dotson and Brand Broussard, a team, as you said, Lynn, averaged 46 yards per game coming into this game, and yet John Curtis found a way to keep a 0 up on the scoreboard, which is important to them. That says a lot, because this University High is extremely talented and explosive.
And for the Patriots to allow only 6 postseason points, again illustrates how balanced and how strong on both sides of the ball John Curtis is. It's not fancy. It is very basic. It is very fundamental, but it is championship football.
Yeah, that Veer offense is not a sexy offense. It's not one come from behind. So you got to really make things work and take a lead and take control of the game. But, you know, it works. And people come here. You know, Malachi Dupree didn't catch a lot of passes, but everybody in the country knows about him. You've had receivers come here and move on. Henry Thomas, you didn't even hear his name called one time. He's a receiver for John Curtis. Henry Smith has already gotten a scholarship commitment to University of Houston. He caught one pass the entire season, yet Houston saw the value in his skills as a blocker and a route runner and things. So, you know, receivers still come and have a chance to play at the next level at John Curtis in his Veer offense. It's about the player. It's not about the offense.
So the championship trophy presentation will be forthcoming. John Curtis wins its 3rd consecutive state championship.
Amy Falcon, Metairie. Art Darnier, Metairie. Terry Ilario, Westwego.
32-0 the final. These teams did not score in the first period. John Curtis got a zigzag run from Raekwon James in the second quarter to take a 6-0 lead. And then he hauled in a touchdown pass on the final play of the second quarter to give John Curtis a 13-0 lead. University tried to get its offense moving. It never could, and John Curtis added 3 second-half touchdowns to win going away 32-0. And a perfect season for those lads in white has come to an end with a loss. 13-1 is the final record for University.
And they'll be back here again. They have a lot of guys who've tasted this, had a chance to taste this situation, this environment in the Superdome, the championship game, and they'll be back again, and they've got the players to get them back.
Renee, I can't tell immediately, but it appears those are the seniors, or at least a contingent from U High. The rest of the team is on the sideline.
Is the State Farm Outstanding Player Award for University High School.
There's a lot of good players on that team, and you know the thing is they've got to be very, very proud of what they've done, and you know what they've done. They've laid the groundwork for this team to get back and make a trip back to the Superdome. A lot of good players. That offensive line really did a good job of keeping Manny Miles clean and opening holes for Nicholas Brissett right there, who's going to get the MVP for the University Cubs.
He's the most outstanding player for University High in this game.
The next award.
As we take a look at some of his fine work today.
He did a good job. Yards after contact. He's got explosive. He cuts at full speed, 4.55 speed, and you know he's a total package. He gets to the second level very quickly, Lennon. Lowers that shoulder. He's a load. He's a downhill runner.
27 carries for 120 yards for Nick Brissett. And Kenny Young has been awarded the most outstanding player for John Curtis, the linebacker, who certainly was instrumental in the shutout.
Coming into the game with over 107 tackles. You know, he's got the look of a Michael Stonebreaker, who played at Notre Dame, went on to play for Chicago Bears, but he's got that instinctive look. He's got
13 tackles today,
wow.
8 solo stops, and 1 sack. A double-digit tackle total with a senior outside linebacker.
He had 81 tackles last year, so he is a tackling machine. Almost 200 tackles the last 2 years.
Let the celebration begin. Nobody at John Curtis needs to be told where to go at the end of the final game of the year.
Yeah.
Game interviews to begin immediately in the interview room. How about one more time for the Patriots, your 2013 state champions?
River Ridge is celebrating again.
Titletown, Louisiana, Lynn.
It has earned that moniker. This is the first ever Division II championship for John Curtis. So a new piece of history begins for the Patriots.
Never gets old.
Renee, these seniors
Division I championship.
have found themselves recipients of 3 state championship rings.
Wow.
And again, you go back to 1975, and we mentioned it during the broadcast, but there has not been one football player at John Curtis since 1975 who has not had at least one championship ring before his graduation.
That says a lot, and that just, it raises the bar, but it makes you realize when you put on that jersey and helmet what is expected of you. And the expectations, the work ethic, the things that come with this success is expected when you play for J.T. Curtis.
32-0 the final score as John Curtis hoists the championship trophy yet again. Let's go down to Chad Sabady with Coach J.T. Curtis.
All right, thank you guys. Coach Curtis, congratulations. Every year is different. Every championship is special. What does this one, 26th overall, 3rd in a row, mean to you and to this team?
Well, this football team has overcome so much adversity, injuries early in the season, but I really think the way this team grew as a football team, having played the kind of competition we did early in the season, really carried us in a game like this. We knew University High was a good football team. I mean, they are a physical football team. They got talent. They got guys that could run and catch, and I thought we did a great job of responding as the game went on. I think we adjusted to the speed of the game, to the physicality of the game, and I thought played well.
Let me ask you about one of your assistant coaches, 35 years with you on the sideline, Mike Robertson. In the suite tonight, watching you guys win this title. He's been out battling cancer. What does it mean to kind of win this for Mike?
Well, there's no question that he's an integral part of what we do. Not only is he a great football coach, but he's a great man. He's a fine Christian man, and his 2 sons played for me, and he's just like part of the family. And for him to have a part of this, and I'm telling you, our kids played all season long for him and for what he stood for is immeasurable. You can't summarize it in words.
On the field tonight, defensively, Kenny Young, the most outstanding player. He was just a man among boys out there tonight. What did you see, and what do you expect from him on the collegiate level next year?
Well, the only bad thing about Kenny is he's a senior and he's graduating. Other than that, he's a great football player, and more important, he's a great kid. He's an outstanding leader on our team, and when we were going through some difficulty with injuries, with a loss in the last second against St. Aug, he did a great job of pulling our team together and making sure that we put that behind us and move forward. And I think that showed tonight.
And finally, speaking of moving forward, Coach, 2014, does the work start tomorrow? Do you celebrate tonight? How much time do you give these guys?
Well, we'll give them a little time off, and somewhere around the first of the year, we'll start it all over again. And that's a great thing about high school football and really great thing about athletics in general. You have a good time, you enjoy it, you do those intrinsic values that are going to last a lifetime in terms of work, dedication, determination, and then you move forward with the next group of guys. What keeps you young, what keeps you excited.
Coach J.T. Curtis, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, speaking of that most outstanding player, Kenny Young, he's standing by with Aaron Cofield.
That's right, Kenny. When they said your number as the most outstanding player, what was your thoughts?
That wasn't my goal. My goal was to, do what I always do, get my guys right, and, let defense win the game. Offense put up points on the board, and, I told them like it was. That's enough, man. If we stop them, they don't score, and they don't win. And that was through the whole game. You know, they're a physical team, and you know, we just fought to the second half. You know, it was 0-0 actually. So you know, we just had to keep on fighting the defense, and that's what we did.
For you personally, this is the third championship you won at John Curtis. Does it get old? It doesn't get old, does it?
No, man. Of course, winning doesn't get old, man. Nah, but we've been through so much, you know. The past 2 years, we wound up undefeated. Last year was national champions. And this year, you know, we had a little adversity with 2 losses. We had actually a guy died on the team, you know, a little tragedy. And, you know, our coach is sick, our O-lineman coach, he got cancer. So, you know, that's some of the things that carried us throughout the season to help us win a state championship.
That said, as a defensive player, to not only win this championship, but to shut out the opposing team, how important is that, and how proud are you of your teammates?
We had 2 weeks to prepare, you know. This is what we wanted, a shutout, a score to say 0. Obviously, it was 32-0, but I'm just proud of my boys, man. You know, I'm proud of the D-line, the O-line, you know, the secondary, the linebacker group. You know, this whole program is just wonderful. And I won't go to another program except for this one.
All right, thanks so much. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Guys.
Well, the celebration continues as John Curtis, in convincing fashion, wins 32-0 over this University Cubs team, which suffers its first defeat of the year. And certainly, Renee, there was thoughts of a fallen comrade during this season with John Curtis playing for a fellow who can no longer suit up.
Matthew Tardo was shot and killed. He was a guy who was going to be a starter on this team last spring, and very unfortunate. And the team rallied, and really it meant a lot how they handled this adversity. But it was a guy who was a very instrumental part of this team, who was going to be a starter on this team, and his life cut short by a tragic accident. And it's unfortunate, but really the way this team fed off that and pulled together and handled that adversity.
Matthew Tarto's name will indeed be on the roster of the 2013 state championship team. Well, Renee, John Curtis winning perhaps is not a new story. It certainly isn't with 26 state championships, but again, the way this victory, shutting out one of the most potent offensive teams in Louisiana and allowing points throughout the entire playoffs, and then doing what it always does, just run the same plays time after time after time until it sucks the will out of the opponent.
The machine, you know, the imagination, Lynn, and it wasn't one of these games that you wouldn't know you're biting your fingernails until the seconds ticked off. It was demonstrative. Was without a doubt they really took control.
Nothing. For Chad Sabity and Aaron Cofield and Renee Nato, I'm Lynn Rollins. Thank you for joining us for the Division II championship game from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The winner is John Curtis High School for the 26th. Congratulations to the champions.